Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we've got amazeballs news concerning the SD2SNES Flashcart for your Super Nintendo. So recently we got GSU1, the FX chip, SA1. You could play Mario RPG. You could play all your FX chip games, Star Fox 2, all that cool stuff using the SD2SNES. But now what? We have S-DD1. This may be exciting for some. Some people might just be like, it's okay. But I think just with these strides and this progress with this thing, it's getting closer and closer to 100% compatibility. And that means the world to many people, especially when you're paying so much money for a flash cart like this. This thing's almost a couple $100. And it supports 99% of the library. And with these little, chips that, I wouldn't say oddball, but, these chips that support maybe a couple games coming to fruition on this device, I think is awesome. So we now have this core. It's kind of in a testing phase right now, but we are going to check that out in a moment. So we can play on this thing, Star Ocean and Street Fighter Alpha 2. Street Fighter Alpha 2 is pretty sweet. Star Ocean is sweet as well, but we've been able to play Star Ocean through a patched version anyway, so it's not a huge deal, I think, but it's still pretty cool nonetheless. So if you go on over to the Retro RGB website and you look at Smoke Monster's little blog post here, his little article, he goes over some of the information with this. We are going to check it out in a second. But he talks about Magno has been working on an open source S-DD1 special chip FPGA core for the SD2SNES for over a year. He completed about 95% of the code, and Red Guy, our savior, this guy is amazing, man. He's doing some awesome work. Finished it up. So his last commits on GitHub successfully add support for SDD1 for the SD2SNES. It's not been officially released yet, but anybody can compile the firmware there. But he has this user listed, Razadon. I think I'm saying his name correctly, I hope. He made a compiled version of it, so you can just check it out. So pretty cool stuff. That's what we're going to be checking out now. So you're just going to copy that over, the firmware 1.8. Use at your own risk. It's not an official firmware, so it could be unstable. There's some untested code. Weird things may happen, but hopefully not. I've already messed with it a little bit. I haven't seen any issues. He goes on to say compatibility in this release is excellent. Both Star Ocean and Street Fighter Alpha 2, they are the only SDD1 games work in both US and European regions, leaving just Japanese to be finished. Saving also works. Excellent. Razadon and others have been testing heavily, and game speeds appear to be nearly 100% identical to the eye. Load times and delays also seem to be exact. Unless you're doing a frame-by-frame comparison, it could be considered to be near perfect. But hey, bugs almost certainly exist, though, as you would expect from any preview build. So, pretty cool stuff for sure. You can go to that blog post from Smoke Monster on the Retro RGB website, or you can go straight to Red Guy's commit here, compile this stuff yourself, if you so choose, but boom, there it is. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump on over and see if this works, right? So, like I said, I really don't care about Star Ocean that much because we have had a patched version, but it does work. So, I am currently using the Smoke Monster pack for the SD2SNES. What? Gotta give my boy a shout out, man. That guy is amazing. All the latest news, I wouldn't have known that this SDD1 dropped, or a preview build had dropped, if it wasn't for Smoke Monster spreading that information out there. And even then, if I didn't see it from him, somebody else would have shared it with me that got it from him. So hey, got to give props to the source there, the guy spreading the news. Smoke Monster, awesome dude. Check out his channel. Keep tabs on Retro RGB. A lot of cool stuff there, but definitely Smoke Monster's the man. So this is his pack we are using. So let's go to special chip games. We have unsupported chip games actually. So let's go ahead and go into that. If you have one of these packs that's not updated to all the latest stuff, you'll find the unsupported things here. That way you can go back through and test it. I haven't recompiled this to showcase, like the FX chip and all that kind of stuff. I just go into unsupported games. Eventually I'll get it back tidied up, or just, recompile it, whatever, right? So here we go. Most of these work now. So, pretty good stuff. We got CX4. Pretty awesome. Let's find Street Fighter Alpha 2. There it is. So Europe, USA, and Japan. We're going to go ahead and boot up the US version. So let's peep it out. Loading up just fine, my boys. And so far the sound has been fine. Everything works. I think this is really cool stuff. I am currently playing on the Super NT from Analog, FPGA-based Super Nintendo. I think this system is awesome. Really cool stuff. I think with any of these, FPGA strides, stuff that just keeps on developing, it's great for the community because people will eventually port this stuff over to something like Mister, vice versa. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there with FPGA gaming, and it's definitely sweet balls, so can't complain. This is working just great. Is the Super Nintendo version of Street Fighter Alpha 2 the best ever? I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say so, but it's still pretty damn fun if you're a Super Nintendo fan and enthusiast. Why not, right? Cool to have the compatibility. This is just really sweet stuff. Let's go ahead and get into this a little bit. Street Fighter Alpha 2. Let's go to arcade. See what's up. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and pick our character. Ryu, how do you guys say it? I don't care, whatever. Turbo, yes, please do some turbo. Who are you fighting? Gen? Man. But so far, yeah, no graphics glitches, no sound issues that I'm coming across. Everything seems to be pretty legit. Definitely not the greatest version of the game. The reason this uses these special chips for it is because of the massive amount of sprites and all that kind of crazy stuff. These little slight delays, that's just how the game was. Kind of, just something you got accustomed to play this game on the Super Nintendo back in the day was pretty damn sweet. Hold on, let me set my buttons. You press, there we go. Medium punch. Wait a minute. Wait, what? Oops, I screwed that up, right? Wait, no. There we go. That's the way I like to play. I always played these games on the Super Nintendo back in the day. All these fighters and whatnot, but it was always so much more fun using like an arcade style stick. I could never really get into playing fighting games on a controller because the L and R, using them for your high punch and your high kick just does not work for me. And then, having the light punches on there kind of takes away from me being able to do some combos. So I'd always play this with like a 6-button controller or an arcade stick. It's just the way I had to do it. I don't know, a lot of people, they're fine with that. Even back when like Street Fighter 4 came out on the Xbox 360, I had to get an arcade stick. I remember going on some crazy ass adventures just to go get an arcade stick. I remember me and a buddy, we drove like over an hour to go to Japan video game store out in, was it Alhambra, California? I don't remember, man, but that was the only place we could get arcade sticks for the 360 to play Street Fighter 4 on. And I had other friends that they're like, man, forget arcade sticks. I could play this with the normal controller. And I'm like, I don't know how you do it, man. And I've known people, they just can kill it that way. I can't. I mean, that's just the way it is. I can't play these games that way. I have to always put the high punch and the high kick on the X and A button. It's just, I don't know, man. But it's still fun. It's still fun. I do have a arcade stick for my Super Nintendo, and I've actually been thinking about building one. We're going to be doing a Super Nintendo Classic arcade stick thing pretty soon here. I know I talked about that a while ago, but definitely want to get something nice for the actual Super Nintendo, right? Might as well wire one up. So I do play Super Nintendo a lot. Yeah, this delay, like, I remember that from back when the game was out and I played it, and it was kind of off-putting at first, but you kind of get used to it. It's almost like a little quick load. But that has nothing to do with the SD2SNES. That's just how this game was, man. Oh, come on, man. Damn it. Oh, well. It's all good. We're still whooping his so So hells yes, we see that this works. Not really much of a point, in my opinion, to test Star Ocean. It works. Like I said, we've all had access to play the patched version on the SD2SNES, so I think it's still pretty sweet, though. If you just want to play the unpatched version, everything works just fine. But yeah, if you have an SD2SNES, this is awesome stuff. Not having any issues, but like I said, and like Smoke Monster said here, it's not an official firmware. It may be unstable. There might be some untested code in there that could have some undesirable effects. Use at your own risk. But not a big deal. I like testing this stuff out, seeing how it works, and hells yes, can't wait for this to be implemented into the official firmware. Really sweet stuff. Really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sweet ass love to that notification bell. You guys know what's up. Let's do it. And with that said, guys, I will catch y'all next time. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom.